Mark, globally speaking, what's the big differences between key investment markets and where are the strongest places?
I think asset allocation, which is kind of what you're talking about, and certainly geographically, is really hard today since the financial crisis, because there's been a huge move in stock markets generally, and because cash has been sort of derated so much, i.e. interest rates are so low, that people have spent money. It's gone everywhere. It's gone to classic cars, it's gone to artwork, it's gone into the stock market. But if you want to look for the places to invest today, well, places like America are actually quite expensive today by most standards, they'd say. But actually places like emerging markets, which have been downrated for the last few years, and all the things you're reading today on oil, commodities, those are the sorts of areas that might, in the next couple of years, be the interesting areas to invest, because they have taken a pummeling to levels that people have not seen for many years. But I don't know how long this is going to take to play out, because the financial crisis, to me, isn't over. It started in 2008. I suspect we're half to three quarters of the way through it. So we might even have another crisis. If you're a real doomster, that's probably what you'd be saying. I'm more of a sort of muddlist, so I think things go through the middle. But I think it's tougher today for investors. And this idea of any kind of safe harbour, well, I don't think there is one. And even cash, when you look back in 2008 when we had Northern Rock, you can't really say that even cash is always solidly safe, as perhaps we've once felt.
And when it comes to depressed economies, I'm of course thinking of Greece or perhaps even Venezuela. These pose huge risks, but do they also have opportunities?
Where there's risk, there's opportunity. I'm not sure Venezuela would be one. Brazil might be one later, but that's still got real political problems. And then we're into sort of areas, I mean, Russia's got one of the lowest rated stock markets, but most people, it's not a place where you're going to put very much of your assets in. That's the problem. Emerging markets generally, Asia, even China, these are places over the next 10 years. Why I think you've got to look longer term. You've got to look sort of 10 years out rather than looking 6 months. It's no good. These sorts of areas, Asia has got a huge middle class building and generally young populations. Look at India. They've got something like half the world's under 25s are in India. The demographics of that are very strong for the economy, like us sort of baby boomers coming through, and they've got the same thing. So that's going to be a good place to invest, but it's probably not a place where you're going to put all your money. If you're a UK investor, you're probably going to put 40-50% of your money at least in the UK, which isn't bad. And people knock their own economy very easily, but actually the UK stock market's been a good place to be over the years.
And finally, looking towards the year ahead, what trends do you foresee impacting the markets and what are the things to watch?
What throws stock markets are the unknowns. So by definition, I don't know what they are, but I think interest rates will go up in the States. But actually, I'm of the view that they might well come back down again, because I think the global economy isn't that strong. So if I was looking for sort of things that aren't in the market, I'd say the next move in UK interest rates could actually be down and not even up, as people think. And the idea that interest rates are going to go up to anything like they were 4 or 5% before in 2007, there's absolutely no chance. The world is so indebted that it's going to take a very long time. So I think the world economy is quite fragile. That'll lead to volatile markets, but in itself that leads to opportunities to buy in if you're patient. So wait for the decent falls in the markets to buy, but you'll have problems in China, probably even if the EU referendum might be brought forward, that will bring volatility around whatever happens, whether we come out of the EU or not. But those are all sort of volatile events, which, as I said, are opportunity more than anything else. I'm not going to be a doomster and say that everything's going to fall apart, because I think that's what everyone's been saying pretty much for the last 5 years, and they've been proved totally wrong.